Hey guys, back to another video, and today I'm just going to be talking to you about my dream job and what I want to be when I'm older, as the cliche I guess, what I want to do to be successful and so on. So when I was starting from the beginning, when I was little, I used to always get asked like what I wanted to be, and I either said that I never knew or that I wanted to be a teacher. Because I want to educate people, and I want to be able to like help other people in the world as well through education. Like, I do want to help people like through charities and stuff, but education I feel is one of the best things in the world if you are taught right. Like, I don't feel like the way that we get taught nowadays is the best way of teaching. We don't get taught stuff like how to pay bills, how to do this, how to do that, how to do stuff in our basic day life when we are older, the stuff that we need to survive, the stuff that we need to do to keep going, and to how to budget and save. We don't get taught these sort of things at school, and I just feel like that's such a bad thing. That's such a bad thing that we don't get taught these things, and I want to teach other people about these things, and I want to teach people stuff that you don't get taught in normal school. And I also don't want to teach in just one classroom and sit behind a desk. I want to teach in places that we class as developing countries, which basically are countries that don't have enough resources and they don't have enough.
Sorry, I'm having trouble with the connection. Please try again in a moment.
Well, anyway, so I want to help out people in developing countries, like I was saying, and basically what developing country means is countries where they don't have the supplies they need to survive, and they're basically living off certain things, or either they've been at war and they're in a really bad state where they don't have the right foods and they don't have the right crops, and either their crops aren't growing and they're having famines and stuff like that. I want to go to places like that where the education out there is not first priority, and I want to help make it one of the first priorities, because many people in those countries can't read or write, and that seems really weird when you think about it in our country, because I think like 95% of our country can read and write before they're 15. And I want to go out there and help people where their education may not be the first thing they want to do, but I want to get more children into education, and I want more children not to learn from textbooks and stuff like that, but to learn from other people who have experienced life and be able to talk about different cultures and different religions. We get taught about just the basics of religions. You don't actually get to sit down and have a conversation with someone who is Jewish, someone who is Muslim, someone who is Christian. We don't actually get to see like maybe like a day in their life of being that person. You only just get taught the facts, like this religion was founded in this time of the year, which we just think, right, that we know those facts and we know those stuff and that's a good thing, where really it's not a good thing. We should actually know more about the culture and stuff than what we actually do know. We should, like, the stuff we're being taught is so pointless that we're just getting told to learn dates, learn this, and we're getting put into tests for stuff like that, which shouldn't really happen. So I want to just I want to educate people in different ways. I don't want to educate people in the way that teachers educate nowadays. I want to educate them how we're going to educate in 30 years from now, where we're using day-to-day life to educate our children, to educate our pupils, our students, just everyone. I don't want to be sitting in a room doing exams, prelims, tests. I want to be out in the world and like be challenged on activities rather than our brains, because everybody has, if you were to educate everyone in the same way and give them the same thing every day, everyone would learn and everybody would be the same smartness, the same everything. But if you were to take someone on something, like if you were to go on an adventure and take them to a place where they can conquer fears, make memories, we're not going to remember the stuff that comes out of textbooks, but we're going to remember stuff that we have learned through doing other things. Like, yeah, we could be sitting in a room reading from a textbook, learning about stuff like 9/11 and things like that, or we could be at that memorial and we could be learning while we are having fun and enjoying being there and actually getting to see what really happens. Going back to like what my dream job is and stuff, I just want to travel the world and teach different places and different cultures and different religions about my views and just stuff that I've learned over the years that I just think is so either weird, bad, or really good. And I just want to educate in a different way rather than textbooks and PowerPoints and stuff like that. I just want to educate in a different way, and I don't want to just stay in one place. I don't want to just stay in Africa. I want to go to different places, even going to countries where they aren't developing. Just I want to teach in different countries, different ways of teaching, because not everybody will get the chance to be able to find a different way of teaching. You could be sitting using textbooks, doing exams for your whole life, and it's just not going to be fun, and you're just not going to learn anything, because once that test or exam is over, all the stuff just goes over your head and you just forget it. Where if you were to go out and live it and be in that moment, then you're going to remember that as a memory, and it's going to help a lot more than reading it from a textbook. And basically through all of this, I want to make a documentary about it as well, just so people know about all these different things. And I want to documentarize, I don't know, make a documentary of my life is what I was trying to say there. Make a documentary of my life and basically everything I'm learning over the years. And I want people to be able to see that and think, well, if she's able to teach in different ways, then why aren't we teaching in these different ways? And I just basically want to change our world through education and be able to say that there isn't just one way of teaching and there isn't just one teacher in a classroom. We could be sitting in a classroom and we could have pupils teaching other pupils about stuff that they're being learning, and it would help a lot more, because a teacher is a lot older of a person compared to a pupil, because pupils are from the ages of around 5 or 6 to 16 and 17, I think maybe even 18, and these teachers range from the ages of about 20 to 50, which means they're not going to be living in the same generation we are. They're not going to know all the things that we know. So if you're being able to teach a pupil, like if you're being able to teach another classmate, they're going to understand it a lot more because it is in their language. We'll say language because a 50-year-old man isn't going to be able to teach a 14-year-old kid more than what another 14-year-old kid can do, because they're going to understand more of that 14-year-old than they are of the 50-year-old, because the age gap is like, obviously because the man was born in a different generation, or woman, I'm just saying for an example, it's going to take a lot longer for them to process the stuff because they're saying it in a different way than what that boy knows. So if like one of his classmates, and he can tell him it in an easier way because his classmates understand it, and it would just be a lot easier for him to like understand it, and a lot easier for him to like learn it a lot quicker, I guess. I don't know, my dream job is just to make a documentary of my life and just help around the world, travel, and just teach people. I want to be able to go and just teach people. I want to change the world through education, and also make a film about it and be able to say this is just life. And education has to be one of the main things that people know, because education is one of the top priorities for us to have, because if we don't have an education, then a lot of things are less available for us if you don't have an education. Like in this country, if you don't have an education, it's a lot harder to get a job. It's a lot harder to be able to count, able to pay rent, to read books, to read even labels and stuff like that. Education is just key to our existence. And yeah, I've just ranted on about education and stuff like that, but really just my dream job is to educate and travel, because I love the fact of going around to different countries and places like that. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I also want you to comment down below what your dream job is. It could be anything in the world, anything like at all. Also, another dream job is YouTube as well, because I'd love to be like part of the YouTube community, and also the documentary could go on YouTube. I don't know. I just want to do something really big with my life. I don't want to be sitting behind a desk. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye.